2000.
All right, we'll call the Kingston Springs Board of Commissioners public hearing to order for August 17th, 2017. Anyone that would like to come before the board and speak to Ordinance 17-006, Ordinance 17-007, Ordinance 17-008, or Ordinance 17-009, now would be the time to do that. I don't think we have anyone here to do that. So, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All right. Call the Board of Commissioners meeting for August 17th, 2017 to order. Could everyone please rise and place the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, John, could you call the roll?
Gary Corlew. Here. Tony Gross.
Here.
Jeff Lorenz. Lynn Remick.
Here.
Bob Stowe.
Here.
All right. I'm looking at everything here. All right, the minutes have been circulated. Everyone's had a chance to look over that. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have oh, actually, we had two sets of minutes to be, didn't we? So, a motion to approve the July 20th, 2017 commission minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All right, item number 6 is motion to approve the August 17th commission agenda. I have two, I guess we could have three, really two new business items that we need to add. 12E would be resolution 17-007, support for dinner on Main, and item 12F is Gary Corlew, discussion of skunks, raccoons, and other nuisance wildlife. And then I think what we'll do for the other item is we'll just, under discussion, John's going to give us an update on the TAP grant that we've all been reading the emails about, kind of where we are on that, and I think you've got that survey too, don't you? So,
Mr. Mayor, Lundy Cup might be running late. Is it, if he doesn't make it in time, are we able to put him at the bottom?
yeah, well, I think is that all right with everyone if we just
Sure.
move ahead and then move Lundy in whenever he gets here?
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. 7 is announcements from commissioners. Gary, do you have anything?
No.
Bob?
Well, August 21st is a big deal, isn't it?
It is.
Dark day.
And can I ask John what's going on besides the moon pie and rocket pops?
Yeah, well, we have an event called Total Eclipse at the park, at Burns Park.
Everybody loves that title, too.
It was, I'm going to give Brandy the credit for that one. We will have 200 or so pair of official commemorative eclipse glasses. We will plan to close the park entrance at 10, open it again at 11, so we can have a full accounting of making sure we give the glasses as people come through and into the park. The event officially starts at 11:30. The eclipse will begin somewhere a little after 12. We should hit totality a little after 12:20, 12:30, and then it should all be over a little after 3 o'clock or so. We'll have as you mentioned, we'll have moon pies, we'll have rocket pops, and other assorted goodies. The concession stand will be open to sell drinks. We've just invited everybody to come out and join us on the soccer field. It's a big open area where they can bring their lunch, their chairs, their blankets, and enjoy the eclipse as a community.
Thank you, John, and I'd like to thank you and Brandy for your efforts to get it done for sure,
You're welcome.
and the rest of the park.
It should be fun.
I have a quick question. Will we make sure that they're approved sunglasses?
That is correct. They
Yeah.
are approved
Okay.
official sunglasses.
Okay, just making sure,
Yes.
since there's so many That's a big hot area.
Oh, yes.
Do you have an announcement?
I'm aware there's also, Hayshed Farms is having an event, and the Rangers are having something out down at the Narrows that day too. I want to say that so many people thrilled that the basketball court is open. There's no lines right now, but the courts are up, hoops are up, the nets are on, and people are shooting basketball out there. So thank you for all those involved in that.
All right, and I have nothing to echo the sentiments of everyone else. All right, community input and concerns. I don't think we have anyone here for that. Oh, actually, we do. Yeah.
Should I stand or just?
Of course.
Please take
Come in, take the podium.
Okay, it's been a little over a year since a certain paper did away with my role. But I was recently approached by the person who purchased the I-24 exchange. He's turning it into the Chieftain exchange with the Bow County line.
Great.
He approached me, I didn't even know this had happened, and he asked me when I wanted to start. And I said the third Thursday of the month. Because you guys, I said it before, you guys taught me the true meaning of community. I've always felt welcome and at home here. And I wanted to start off on the right foot. Wish I had the right foot. I'll say the same thing in Cleveland. I'll say the same thing. I think I'm gonna be serious. You guys, it's nothing to do with this because I'm older, not good.
Well, that's great news. We always really appreciated your reporting, and I feel like there's been a lack of really good county-wide news. There's been a definite vacuum for some time now.
The
So
problem is when you have a vacuum like that, and then you have something like Facebook, which everybody sees as gospel, it's like so much misinformation is spread faster. So I'm gonna see if I can spread it even faster. But I cannot tell you what it means to me here. Because I felt like a corpse for a long time. It's a big deal.
Welcome
Because
back.
you guys have old news in you, so thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have Lundy's on the agenda, so department reports have been circulated. Do you guys have anything you want to add to the department reports? Anything besides that? All right. Legal updates. Jennifer?
Yes, on the Greater Dixon franchise, Martha Brooke, Jerry Smith is the attorney for Greater Dixon, or Dixon City as well, and we had made some changes and proposed changes. I got those to Jerry Smith and we're waiting on them, so, that's kind of where it stands. And of course, the one that we have currently in effect remains in effect until we do anything like that. So, waiting on them.
We're still just in a holding pattern, basically,
Yes,
as we were. All right.
yes, no new news, except no holding pattern.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. How's Martha Brooke doing? Is she?
She's doing good. I'll tell her yes. And thank
All right.
you for working with us last week.
No problem. All right, unfinished business update on the dedication of Fire Station Number 1 to Marvin, Ray, and Bob Crouch. I guess we've all had a chance to take a look at the sign, but go ahead.
Well, I talked to Bob Crouch today, and he had said that a Saturday or a Sunday after church, 1, 2 o'clock, would be a good time for him, but he would do whatever you all wanted to do. So I just need to kind of get a feel, so I know to get the stuff, set a date for the reception.
Okay.
Anytime's okay with me.
I mean, I can do, most Saturdays or Sundays would be fine with us. We've got, of course, dinner on Main, September 7th. And October 7th, or September 10th, sorry. October 7th, we have Art in the Park, which would be that Saturday. And I'd be out of town. What about the second weekend in October? Does that work for everyone?
14th.
Or we could do one of the weekends in September, the third weekend in September. I don't know.
You know, let's do it early. because
Okay.
you just don't know about Mr. Marvin's health.
That's true, and I guess the
And-
sooner the better.
Yeah,
That's,
I'd just like to go ahead so that maybe he can be a part of that.
September 3rd is a Sunday?
Mm, It's Labor Day weekend.
That's Labor Day weekend. How about,
And I know the 14th, 15th, and 16th, they are not available.
of
September.
September, what's the last weekend in September?
30th.
23rd or 30th.
The 30th is on a Saturday.
So
I mean, I think that would be fine, either one of those.
23rd, 24th of September?
Let's shoot for the 24th. Is it Sunday afternoon or?
I think a Sunday afternoon's a
Yeah,
nice
that's
time to
fine.
do that. I think it'd be really great.
Sunday the 24th.
That way, a lot of, if it's right after their church lets out, then some of the folks from church could come down. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
So,
So around 2, give people time to have lunch and then come and
I think that's good.
just was gonna do cake and some punch nuts, very simple, in the fire hall.
Perfect.
And Bob said that he would like to speak.
Okay.
All right, we'll go for that.
And we'll let Ray obviously know and everything too, Ray Jr. and,
Yeah, Bob was gonna take care of it.
okay.
And
Was there a discussion of the reception costs? Or
I think we approved that last
Yeah,
meeting.
Yes,
yeah.
we did, didn't we? Okay.
So. All right, update on the Welcome to Kingston Spring sign and competition. John, do you?
I sent the flyer that I made and the rules that I gathered from other places to Martha Brooke. She looked at them, made a few minor changes, so those are ready. I was gonna wait until after the eclipse, so anytime next week, we can put it out, and thought about giving people about a month for submissions, and then we can gather this esteemed body together and choose the most desirable.
Home of the old man in the tree.
It's a little wordy, we can work on it.
Okay, okay.
It might end up being former home of.
Oh.
So.
All right.
All right, item C is second reading of ordinance 17-006, amending the municipal code, Title 13, Chapter 1, Section 13-105.2, designation of public officer or department. Of course, we went through this last time. We just had a pre-meeting discussion of it too, but this is of course dealing with our zoning issue, or I mean our codes enforcement issues that we've been going through, and I think we finally got a plan somewhat in place here, and this will this is all part of that. So, do we have a motion to pass 17-006 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. D, second reading of ordinance 17-007, amending the municipal code, Title 11, Chapter 1, Section 11-101, drinking of alcoholic beverages in open containers on streets. Of course, this applies to Art in the Park. We went through this last time. It's Dinner on Main. Sorry.
No alcohol at Art in the Park.
It could theoretically apply to Art in the Park, but it doesn't in this case. But just so that for that, and of course, it gives us a very restricted ability to for certain events to do that. Do we have a motion to approve ordinance 17-007 on second reading?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, motion passes. E is second reading of ordinance 17-008, amending the municipal code, Title 8, Chapter 1, Section 8-108. Serving areas. This is the other part of our our amendment for the Dinner on Main here for the alcohol. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Item F, second reading of ordinance 17-009, amending the municipal code, Title 8, Chapter 2, Section 8-202 and 8-203. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. New business. Lundy Cup. Mr. Cup, please come speak with us.
Well, hi, everyone. Hi, Jennifer. I think maybe I'm the only one that hasn't caused trouble for you. I have with all these other guys, I'm sure.
Well, maybe I need to leave then.
No, stick around.
A night
It's
is
always
young.
fun. Yeah, so, things are getting kind of crazy with the guy downtown, as you know, and somebody slung a little thing out on Facebook, and I don't want pitchforks and torches here because of our little tree. So, are you guys interested in something new? 'Cause
I
it is
think so.
rotting.
Yeah.
Mother Nature is winning, right?
Right, right.
It's still connected to the ground, and it's hollow. If you see it, you'll see small holes about like this. And a few years ago, I drilled in and put borate rods, which is supposed to suppress some of the rotting and the bugs and everything else. And I poured just gallons of borate liquid in there, but that only holds for so long. And actually, what's interesting is when I drilled a hole at about eye level, water came out like this.
Oh, wow.
So it's hollow.
Oh,
And I have a feeling that I don't know how much longer it's gonna last. To my surprise, I did it because I love this town, and I carve stuff, is what I do. I'm an artist now. I had no idea that it was gonna turn into the thing that it did. I didn't do it for any marketing purposes. I did it because I live here, and I love this community. So, but now everyone's embraced it. And it's funny because Lori Cooper told me something. I was wondering if it was going to be defaced in some way, right? And Lori said if it lasts 6 months, it's going to last indefinitely. She was right. Nobody touched that thing. You know, it's kind of crazy. It's surprised me, to tell you the truth. And then it just made me think even more what a great place this is. And I'm really happy to live here. So, I don't know how much longer it's going to be here. I don't know. It's getting punky, and it's hollow. And cutting it now, I don't think it can really be saved now to cut. And maybe it could be cut and put somewhere else and just coated with tons of epoxy or something. But it's going away. So if you would like something new, I'd say instead of people being upset, what would be cool would be kind of a smooth transition to have something bigger and better. And actually, I have how many more years under my belt carving big stuff like that?
7, I think we figured out.
7 or 8, something
Yes.
like that. Okay. So it would be better, and it would be a lot cooler. And I have some ideas. We can do certain things. I think people they like the face. They like the old guy in the tree, you know. I didn't even name it because I didn't want to, because it wasn't mine anymore, you know. I gave it to the city. So I think one of the deals, I have 2 ideas, and I think one of them should be another big happy guy looking over the town, and it can be put anywhere. Now, if we're going to do another one, I think we should do it the right way and pour a slab and put a big pole in the middle and put spacers. And that way, it can be coated every single year, and it would last probably longer than me. At the rate I'm going, I'm not sure that's saying very much, but I have another idea too, something that might be completely different. Maybe something with it, a big bench. A big cool bench, either in front of it or next to it. And I'm trying to think of what is here in Kingston Springs, but there's the State of the Union these days. I really don't want to put any specific person out there, you know? So we tear that statue down. Don't get me started. So, I think just another cool wood spirit guy and a big bench. And the wildlife here, there's 2 things that I think really stand out in this town. One is wildlife, and one is, I'm here all week, try the deal.
We've got the skunk. We're talking about skunks later, so I propose a statue of Gary Corlew sitting on a bench watching a skunk. Would be
Nice.
perfect.
I actually saw a fox run down the road too once, so, but there are more skunks hanging around. But a big bench, and I drew something up. I don't draw, you guys, but there are owls all over the place around here.
There are.
You know, they're everywhere. In my backyard, I hear them all the time. So I was thinking the whole back of the bench, can I bring this up real quick? Something like that.
Yep.
So you'd have the whole front of the bench and the owl's head, and it could be 10 feet if you wanted it, but then the back of it would be the back of the owl, where the tail feathers are hanging down, and it would be all feathers, and it would be the whole deal, you know? So, but I'm also open for suggestions, you know? I do this for a living now. And some of the things, the media has been so kind to me in the past few years, from TV to magazines to newspapers, so I've been really blessed that way. And we could possibly turn this into a cool, positive thing for Kingston Springs. You know, it's so bizarre that tree is, I don't play video games or anything, but when that Pokemon Go game came out, it immediately became a Pokestop. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I think it's a good thing, right? Or maybe it's not, you know, I don't know. So, my deal is, let's move forward with something positive before people get really upset when that thing, or when we have to tip it over.
Speak back and forth as much as you like.
I'm open for suggestions.
Well, suggestion, but just, I think replacing the old man in the tree would be somewhat of a priority. And is this something that we would be commissioned to have you do?
Yes.
And
it's
then
like-
maybe the bench should be a secondary thing.
Yes.
And, because at first we just gotta, calm the masses as this thing, maybe, at some point, you might need to tell us when we need to remove it, as it
Yeah,
might become a
I'm going to
hazard.
be checking it out soon.
So, any sort
I'll
of,
drill some holes into it.
any sort of ideas on a replacement for the old man in the tree and what that might cost?
Yeah. One carving, I don't leave my house. When I do an on-site carving, there's a lot involved, you know, and the cost flat out would be between $4,500 and $5,000 to do, but it would be, I'm telling you, it would be way cooler than that. And that would be for each thing. The bench would be another deal. But the detail would be absolutely insane. And if we do it, it's gonna last way longer than that, because we have to do it right this time.
And this is something you'd carve at home and then it would be loaded and
That
bought
would be the
and
ideal
delivered,
situation.
and there would be some sort of a grand unveiling of sorts.
Absolutely. And we
With
could do,
media, as you
I mean,
had
Terry
stated.
Bulger's done stuff with me with Channel 4 a few times, you know, Tennessee and different news channels, papers, magazines. Been in Nashville Arts a few times. I don't know if I could get those guys out. So, I'm open for suggestions. I mean, I don't know if it's the old man in the tree, if you want another guy, maybe that would be the best way to go.
My thought on this, and this is something, I mean, we've obviously had line items for things like Christmas decorations and stuff like that forever. Well, that has gone and all. Is we're a community though that has a lot of artists in it. I mean, Debbie's sister, for instance, and Lundy, and it's a very artistic community, and yet I don't think that we've really highlighted that much. And I mean, I think the people kind of crave that to some degree. I mean, as a response to the old man in the tree there, and that's been really a great thing. And it's kind of become, it's iconic to our town in some ways as much as something can be iconic to Kingston Springs. And I'd like to see us in the future really put a priority in it. And a lot of towns have done that. They've put an emphasis on public art. And I think it's a really important thing. I mean, one of the things that's so great about our town is the parks. Everybody loves the parks, and it makes us unique. And I view the public art the same way. I think the public art is something that the communities coalesce around, like the old man in the tree. And so my personal feeling is this is something I really do want to explore further, because I think we should, you know, invest in our sense of being and what we are to some degree, and that's part of what we are. That's part of this community. So.
And people come from all over to see it in a sense too, not just it, but come to the Sky King and other businesses and come to our parks. And it is an icon and represents our city. I don't know if it's something that could come out of some sort of tourism budget, or something that we have a grant of sorts that draw people to the community that we could utilize.
Well, speaking of, we do have a new tourism line of revenue to draw from.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
The cool thing is, if I can interject, this could go anywhere, wherever you guys want to put it. That was there because the tree was dead. And I said, before you cut it, give me about 12 feet, and let's see what we can do.
Well, I personally think that it's the location that has
I think so.
made it not be vandalized. I think if you went to the parks or anywhere else,
Yeah.
it would get to it.
That's a
Yeah,
very
let me,
good point.
It's a special
tell you a
place,
little
special
story
mission.
about that. I've got a carved Indian at home, you know, 6 foot tall, 7 foot tall. It was, that Gary Hines, principal of the high school, gave me because of defacing during school hours. And they just, every time they'd fix it, they was drawing penises on it and everything else. And so he gave it to me. He said that we can't keep it at school. They just won't leave it alone. And so I've still got it. You know, he gave it to me about 15 years ago.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and it's a Harpeth Indian, you know, with
Yeah.
the headdress and all that. And I've had it ever since he gave it to me, you know, 15 to 20 years ago.
But it was taking a hit before he
Yeah.
pulled it out and.
Oh yeah, just they kept trying. You know, they tried for years, and then just kept fixing it, and then he just finally gave up. He said that it's just too much trouble to fool with. You know?
Yeah, so that's a very
I think
good
it would
point.
be nice to put it on city property.
Oh, yes, certainly,
Here,
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Somewhere where it's seen. But yeah, I mean, one of my favorite shots, of course, is, you know, just a night shot of the town, and you can see him. You know, and it's kind of a panoramic shot that I think we've had it on some city things before, but it's just, you know, it's a really great photo. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can, it's a kind of a cool angle, and there's some car driving by.
Car
so
driving
you can
by,
see
yeah.
red light going
Yeah.
by, and it was a great shot, by the way, I love it.
I really like the old man in the tree, in which we've been known to have, and I would love to see that, something new and improved of that nature in
Yeah.
that spot. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. And also, if you did decide to do the two things, you could do the old man in the tree. And I have this other vision of he's wearing something, but inside there, if there is an owl bench, there could be small owls, like, almost like he has this cape or cloak.
Or maybe a skunk.
Oh,
And
yes.
the owls, and then, yeah, Gary's skunk is peeking out among them. The owls are just kind of poking out through there too. Yeah, it's a scary place up here, so. But, yeah, I think the old man would be,
I think that's what the people seem to
transition.
really would like.
I think that would be
It'd be-
ideal at
What
least.
about the logo on the bench?
oh, that's a good idea
The
too.
tree and then Kingston Springs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Could do that right across the front
Mm-hmm.
where you sit, and all the lettering could be all the way across there, and then have the owl. Wow, that's a great idea. I can't believe I didn't.
I'll take part of it.
You are most welcome.
10%, right?
10%, right.
Finder.
Excellent. Well, is there some drawing that you can have present to us at some point, and
Yeah, I can do a.
something of a
schematics
written
or
proposal?
whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of it depends on access to wood. However, we just happen to have a log home builder in our town, you know, who are great people. So I'm wondering if maybe we could tap those guys to give us a really good deal on wood that's gonna last. And that would be something like eastern red cedar, or something.
Yes.
Some kind of cedar would be something that's gonna, you know, that the bugs just don't like at all. I can carve anything, but it would be nice to have something that's gonna keep the bugs away naturally.
Mhm.
And I'll bet Tom and those guys would probably be
Yeah.
receptive. I'm not gonna speak for them, because I don't know that for sure, but
A giant golf ball made out of red cedar.
tank golf, all right, yeah.
Tom's always been good to help us.
He has. In fact, when NBC was out during the school pride show, you know, he gave me that chunk of wood that I did that giant cardinal.
Cardinal on it, then?
And they built the gazebo. And then I put the cardinal, carved and put the cardinal. And that cardinal was Eastern red cedar. It needs a paint job, but it's in perfect condition because it's Eastern red cedar.
I helped you put that up there. You and
Yes,
I
you
did.
did.
That was-
So hopefully we can get a really good deal on some big lumber. And this can't be a wimpy thing, you know? We're gonna go, let's go big.
I wish you'd give me some sizes on that, like the cedar and stuff that you need. I know another guy too, that I can talk to him about. He just lives down close to Ashland City,
We
East
can-
Carolina, and he cuts up lumber all the time and dries it out. And he builds a few little things, you know, but he's always got a big, you know, for mantles and stuff like that, you know.
That's what we
Yeah.
need. We're gonna
Yeah.
need something hefty, you know, at
Oh,
least 6, 8 inches
He's got
thick.
plenty of that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, and it can be 10, 12 feet
well,
long if
just
it's
if
that
you
big.
get me a list of sizes of what you need, and I'll say it. I'll even talk to Tom about it, you know, because me and Tom are close, you know, so.
But
Some of that depends on where it's gonna go though. And as far as the tree, if we're gonna do a tree, it's gotta be a decent tree, and that's gonna have to be trucked in and set up. Which is fine, I mean, they do that all the time. Lumber trucks roll through here, as we all know,
Mhm.
get stuck on the curb and everything. And just plop down, and if I did it at my house, I have access to everything. And I could probably knock it out a little, maybe a little quicker, I don't know. You know? The only good thing about doing it here, though, is it kind of becomes sort of a
People watching you.
spectacle, and they get to watch me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that was cool with that, because I would do it at night sometimes. I set up lights with some scaffolding, and one night, you know, there's this crowd, and I'm going, wow, where'd this crowd come from? And I turned around, and Toby Keith's standing on the scaffolding, but he's like, hey man, can I try that? No. He said, well, that's good. So anyway, yeah, so there's the whole public involvement thing. It does sometimes get in the way of productivity and creativity, you know. It's not good to be distracted with chainsaws in your hand. So there's that. We prefer to do it at home where my studio is. But I'll work with you guys.
be a surprise.
So I don't know, the big tall tree, I'm sure we could get something from somewhere. I mean, there's a few tree companies. Heinz has there's another Heinz that is those big trees, lives in Kingston Springs. What's his first name? Anyway, I think we might have access. I can check things out. The bench would be more like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The big, thick, 10, 12 feet long stuff.
And I could possibly get you a log too,
Oh,
if that's what,
hey,
yeah, what,
I mean, let's make this huge, man.
just,
Let's make it so I need to stand on scaffolding to really knock this out, so people walk up and go, wow, that's cool.
if you just give me a list what you might want, I'll just ask around and see what, you know. And I'll be glad to go down there with you, talk to Tom,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
My schedule is open. I do commission stuff, but for something like this, you know, I can throw it in between all the other stuff that I'm doing. I don't know what time frame you guys are looking at. My concern is, I'm thinking sooner the better, because I don't know how long, I need to test that tree. I need to drill some holes. Because if it gets to the point where I don't feel that it's safe if somebody goes up and stays. If any movement at all, it's gotta go. You know, you can't have our icon killing somebody, tipping over on some poor kid. Right? Right, you're right. I mean,
Old man killed by the
so
tree.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking sooner the better. To also, because if it's gone, people aren't gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Do you think that location is probably, can we keep
I
it there?
think you
Is that
should put
city-
it on city property.
Is that, so that belongs to?
You may have an issue with the city funding and putting it on private property.
Private property.
Yes.
So is that on private property? Is
Yes.
it Goose and Ganders? Is it,
Yes.
okay. Oh. Well, that's the neat thing about doing this separately is you can put it anywhere you want.
You have to figure that out.
You can even put them in different places. You know, if you did decide to go with two, and like I said, we could tie the owl thing together, do the bench and an owl, and have the tree somewhere else with the owls in the tree with the guy. You know, it would sort of be a little theme somewhere.
Well, I think we'll have to kind of, Debbie, will have to kind of dig around and figure out, I guess, how we maybe would finance something like that. But that's a good start, I think. To thanks for coming in tonight and giving us sharing some ideas with us, and if you and Gary can get together and maybe contemplate the actual wood too, that'd be great.
Yep, I'll make a note of that, Gary. Also, Steel Chainsaws kind of wants to work with me on stuff, so if I do it in public, I don't know if this is against policy, a good thing or bad thing, but I would probably look like a walking Steel Chainsaw commercial, or a race car driver, because they want you to wear all their stuff. Yeah, I know.
See, we'll put a steel placard on it if they want to finance it. So.
Well, I thought about that. And actually, I sort of beat you to the punch, and I kind of approached that, and they weren't real hip about that, but they're happy to, you know, give me a bunch of safety gear and let me use some of their saws. So, but I can still work them. I know the safety guy, you know, and the territory manager for steel.
They can come out for the dedication, right?
Yeah.
I can be gently relentless. Yeah, all right, cool.
Thank you, Lundy.
Thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, item B is resolution number 17-006, authorizing the issuance of a interest-bearing sewer system revenue and tax capital outlay note series 2017 in an amount not to exceed $850,000 and providing for payment of said notes. I mean, this is to pay for our fancy new lagoon.
Fancy.
Do you have anything else to add? Maybe?
I don't, Tony, other than,
Art's more fun to buy than
John
sewer lagoons. Yeah.
can be explain this better, but you know, when we started this at this price, it was just doing the regular pit thing, and now they've come back and they're requiring what?
Right, when it was first proposed, it was just a regular clay bottom pit. The state has come through and reviewed the plans, preliminary plans, has some suggestions. Our contractor has then updated those plans, there were minor suggestions, and submitted the finals. But in that process, in reviewing, the state recommended that we use a liner rather than just clay. The format that they recommended, that suggestion, the bid was put out to have a liner in the lagoon. So it might come back a little higher than anticipated because of this additional expense.
So is this going to fit into our? By approving this tonight, we've got a not to exceed $850,000. That's the amount we had
I
set.
think you need to go ahead, Tony,
Okay.
because you're gonna be needing money. You know, this will get us money by September the 1st, and they're wanting to break their, you know.
Okay.
And if it runs to be a little bit more, I mean, we're guessing no more than what?
50,000,
Yeah.
So we're looking at 900,000.
potentially. There are some
So we may
offsets
have
though.
to use some of our money in some,
Reserve.
depreciation fund or something.
Okay.
to
Well, we can
offset
do that.
those
Okay.
costs.
And there are some offsets. In using the liner, there's certain backfill and riprap that you don't have to add that you would if you're just using just a straight clay bottom. So there's gonna be some offset to that. Neil didn't have any good comparisons to if you did clay, if you did a liner, what the cost differences were.
What's the maintenance difference in cost for a liner versus a clay bottom? Is that something that you have to replace
No, no.
often
I
or
think
ever?
the main difference between the two
Real
is
quick.
potential leakage down the road.
Okay.
John, is this lagoon going to be fenced?
Yes, the whole, not just the lagoon, the entire property will be fenced.
Okay, because my company had a lagoon and wildlife got into the lagoon and couldn't get out.
Uh,
And trying to get out tore the membrane.
Right.
So that could be an issue.
It could be, the entire property will be fenced, but not just the lagoon. We can always look at that and ask what the contractor feels about fencing that lagoon off along with the entire piece of property.
Okay.
Bids will be open on the 30th, and we'll know then what's costing. The bids were placed with a primary with the liner and a secondary bid with just the clay. Just to see mostly for the cost differences for us.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 17-006?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, motion passes. Item C is approval of independent lighting study for Thornton's. This came up in the last planning commission meeting. Thornton's is having a difficult time, I guess, complying with our codes, as far as the candle power of the average candle power of the lighting there. And the solution that the board ended up voting on was that we were going to have someone come out and do a study of this, which would actually require funds on our end. And John, have you looked into that?
I have spoken with City Planner Sharon Armstrong. She has someone in mind that would be very cost effective for us.
Okay.
So she's going to proceed in contacting this person. They're not local, but they are an official lighting contractor that deals in this type of information. So they'll give us an unbiased opinion.
What does cost effective mean?
Almost free.
That is cost
Yeah, I've heard this.
Hey.
Motion to approve.
effective. Can we have discussion? Or do we have to approve or what?
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second. Discussion, go ahead, Bob.
Okay. The issue I have is why we're putting out money when a corporate entity wants to come in and do business. I mean, they can't, the lumens underneath the canopy are in excess of 20. And the average, according to Mr. Patino, was 12 to 15 on any given canopy, okay? So, I was at the planning commission meeting, and the only thing the Thornton folks said was, well, look at it this way, we've done a lot so far. And that's the
Yeah.
only reply. They did not answer the question, could you make that, come within our codes? The answer was no, we don't want to. That was the answer I heard.
No, it was, we don't even want to try to get closer. So.
Yeah, so,
But he actually said they couldn't do it with that.
right.
And what does this lighting study show, prove, disprove? Are
I
they
believe
just,
the thought from the planning commission, if I could speak from them from being at the meeting, they felt that there was no one on the town's side with the planning commission that had an expertise in lighting. The lighting plan that was presented from a company that was hired by Thornton's that does their lighting for all their stores. and it was felt a different opinion might need to be presented just to make sure that we were gathering all the facts.
One of the things that the mayor and myself went to Antioch to see the current Thorntons that's in town. And I don't think anybody else on the planning commission has gone there yet. You know, if the issue is lighting, then go there when it's dark and take a look and take a road trip. Because that's what they're proposing to do. So,
Good idea.
And it is very, very bright. From what I understand, I guess they have cut down to where this one would be not as bright, but still they can't get rid. Part of it's because that's an average, and of course they've got a awkwardly shaped lot.
right. But the canopy's not an average. Their canopy
The
is well over
canopy
20.
is just lighting up the
And
sky.
it's up higher.
Yeah.
The whole canopy itself is gonna be probably 20 feet above the shell's canopy. So when you're driving down that road, you're gonna see that light pretty well. All 20.
Do you have any further discussion, anything like that, Gary or Glenn? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No,
No. Motion passes. All right. D is appointment of the Sign and Construction Appeals Board. And we have Carolyn, I've forgotten Carolyn's last name. John, that is offered. She was at our last planning commission meeting, and she seems like she's quite capable and ready to serve on the board. She's not here tonight though, so
and her husband were at the last commission.
they were at the last
yes,
commission
yes.
meeting as well.
Carolyn
Excellent.
Clark.
Carolyn Clark, I'm
Excellent.
sorry, the name slid my mind, but Carolyn Clark has been appointed to that. She's excited to get involved.
Wonderful.
Did you appoint her last month, though?
This month.
You appointed her now.
Yes. All right, and then we have item E, which is resolution 17-007, support for dinner on Main. Debbie or Jennifer, who's?
Mayor, this is, you have passed on second reading all of the other ordinances, 1707, 8, and 9, that
Correct.
deal with serving alcohol, and all of those make reference that in order to do that, the board just passed. a
Has to actually
resolution.
resolution. So every time we have an event, like say we do dinner on Main next year, this
Exactly.
resolution would come up again.
Right, and then we have to, have a somewhat of a description on what area that is. And
Yeah.
so there is a map and then a description of that as well. So that allows the event to happen in the alcohol.
It's just a safeguard on that keeps this power very limited. So.
Yes.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 17-007 support for dinner on Main?
Approved.
Second.
Second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, and item F is Gary Corley, discussion of skunks, raccoons, and other nuisance wildlife. I'll let you take it away, Gary.
All right, I don't know what I'm asking for really, but last week, the city could afford to get us a critter catcher. But we had a bad problem with skunks back 2 or 3 years ago, and it was real bad, and we had brought it up at commission meeting, and we never did get to it because we had a neighbor that kind of took care of the problem,
Yes, he did.
and and he's moved out now, but about 2 months ago, I had an incident in my house. The skunks got under my house, just dug under the air conditioner and got under the house and had babies, and it ended up costing me about $500 to get rid of that the skunk, and, he never did find the babies. They died under there, and I smelled them for about a couple of weeks, and then it went away. You couldn't actually get back to them. It was so low to the ground where I guess they were. And then he ended up catching also caught a raccoon, a big raccoon. I mean, filled up the whole cage. And lately, we've kind of enjoyed them, watching them, but they can't get out of my house no more. I've got that taken care of. There's 4, maybe 5. We've kind of got them halfway named, and we know. And, I got one named Pepe Le Pew. He's about that long altogether, and he's white all top, and his whole tail's white. It's that big around. Looked like he just come out of the beauty shop, you know. But they haven't bothered us. But my dog got sprayed night before last, and in my yard, he got in the backyard. One of them did, and sprayed Cody's dog, not my dog, one of my son's dogs. And talking to the lady across the street, she says she's been back in the house by a raccoon 2 or 3 times, and they're on her. But she does feed birds every day, you know, and squirrels, and there's sunflower seeds, and which she lives next door to Tony, and they're just really causing her a problem. She can't even go out on the porch. There'll be 2 or 3 skunks on the porch, and so I don't know what the answer is. I do have a number that critter man if the city pay for it.
I will say that they also extend as far as where we are right now. I walk my dog. Some of you see me from time to time walking my dog around quite a bit. And about a week ago, I was walking him, and I was right out in front of City Hall there, right in front of the fire truck that's sitting out there. And actually Freed, he's my old dog. He's 14, and he'd been acting real weak and everything, and didn't have his collar on, but he had a flea collar on. I just clipped his thing onto his flea collar, and I was like, he's not going to pull hard. Nothing's going to happen. We got down in front of that fire truck out there, and Freed yanked real hard, pulled his flea collar free, and next thing I know, this 14-year-old schnauzer has caught himself a skunk and has it pinned down on the ground right behind that fire truck. And I get him to get away from him, and then the skunk just raises its tail and just hits him full on. And then he does get sprayed again directly under the cab of the fire truck. So just a warning to the firefighters, when they open that up, it might smell a little rough in there.
We'll let them figure it out.
Yeah.
What is it then?
So it is something that I've noticed it quite a bit around town, and even down in our park and stuff too. And I don't know what you do about it, but there are a lot of skunks here. I always say it's a mascot of Kingston Springs. So
It may be start a presence.
For the owl, actually,
Or
yes.
something, but you know, we could immediately, I know where they live. They're living in the culverts, one in front of Tony's house and the one in front of her carport. I see them go in there, and there's a big log where she cut a tree down. There's one living there, and they could easily catch them in a cage, you know, take them somewhere else. So, but I don't know.
Just ask them nicely.
If we
You know
start
where they
that,
live.
and it's gonna get worse, because they're gonna just keep having babies, and, you know, and it's, I know the lady across the street is having a hard time. She can't hardly walk, you know, she's as bad as me. But I just, hoping for some ideas of what everybody thinks, you know. If we start catching skunks up in our neighborhood up there, then somebody else is gonna call and say they got one that's bothering them, so I don't know.
Mm-mm. They won't touch the skunk or a snake.
So.
Glenn does the snakes.
There's your man right there. You want a critter catcher? I'm looking at one.
Skunks are so sensitive.
Joy removed most of the possums, and she just relocated them down by our shop. So
I don't know.
She's got one, Nita Ruth said she saw a possum too, said comes over every day. And she said they're coming on her porch in the daytime.
I'm not sure how it looks to the city if we have the city paying for pest removal in a neighborhood in which we have 2 of our commissioners living in. I mean,
And the
And
former
from there, and a policeman.
officer.
yeah.
Yeah.
press getting on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't know what to
that
do about it, but
one-way road.
it is an issue, and we have had, and like I said, they do extend as far as down here.
I think you
they're
should
all
have a
over. I
neighborhood
don't know
meeting
what
of
we
sorts.
do,
and,
but we do need to.
brainstorm.
But nobody lives here, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's some folks that live next door here. Actually, they probably heard me saying things I probably shouldn't have when I was trying to catch my dog from the skunk the other night. So,
Well, maybe I'll just think about it, but it's gonna get worse.
it is.
So,
Yep.
Because they're gonna start having babies, because I know, I can tell the male from the female, the male's prettier.
That's what it
so
always is in May.
so the other guy dispatched these other ones that were there a couple years ago?
Yeah. Trapped them and done something with them, I did ask him.
So when, they will go in and have a heart trap?
Yep. You know about it?
So that, so then what do? Throw a tarp over it?
If you,
Mhm.
if
So
you
they
tarp
won't-
it, you
Exactly.
can take them off.
Yeah, huh?
And borrow a neighbor's
Well,
truck.
I did, I saw them do that to the.
Well, let's just do
You don't wanna
that.
use your own.
Park in the park Saturday, we'll have like a little thing.
I've done it once.
Pet the skunk.
Huh?
Skunk event?
Yeah, we'll do have a hearts on Friday
Thanks again,
night,
Marty.
and then
Thank you, everyone.
we'll throw the tarps over and,
Holler at me, Lundy.
I will. Thank you.
I think, yeah, we should have a meeting after a meeting or have a neighborhood discussion on what the options are for that. It could be rather simple.
Gary, I remember once before when this came up, wasn't there something about contacting TWRA or something about them helping? What was the outcome on that? Wasn't Tony
I don't
gonna do
remember.
something?
I don't know. Tony was one of the primary complaints last time. So.
But he was gonna call somebody with TWRA, and I don't remember what the outcome was.
I don't either, I just know they just
Just
kinda all disappeared
dawn
pretty
in
quick.
mind tomorrow, maybe you can contact, to see if maybe they can help us.
It wouldn't hurt to call.
You know,
I'll call them tomorrow.
just,
Yeah, that would be a good thing to
I
see if
know where-
TWRA
I
has
know-
if
I
the
know
state
where
has the solution to
At least
that.
4
Antifreeze.
stay, and they can catch them, probably catch all of them in one night.
Unfortunately.
to go to
All right.
oh, you did that?
Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Surplus?
We have our surplus items: a broken keyboard and a broken vandalized window air conditioner. I do have a motion to surplus these items.
Motion to surplus the items.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
And other for discussion only. If everyone can hang around for just a second longer, John, were you going to just mention the TAP grant issue?
I'll make it quick, and I'd emailed each of you earlier that we have a potential for a TAP grant. The current Safe Routes to School sidewalk project will take the sidewalk from Harpeth Middle School up to Cedar Court, where it will end at a terminus. The TAP grant would allow us to continue the sidewalk from Cedar Court up to Woodlands, take a right on Woodland down back to State Route 249, and connect to the sidewalk there to make a loop through the neighborhood that would take care of most of the foot traffic or bicycle traffic would have access to that sidewalk. The TAP grant is, the town will be responsible for 100% of the grant, or the fundage between concept and construction. The grant then would kick in at an 80-20, where the town will be responsible for 20% once the construction started. The community partners that are working with us on multimodal and safe routes also work these TAP grants, and two of the initial steps are, one, to have a public meeting to get public input on the viability and whether a sidewalk like that would be warranted. Two would be a survey, both electronic and paper, that they would also distribute. These in no way make us or put us on the line for that grant. It's just the first step in the process of the application for that grant. And even if we choose not to apply for that grant this year, these steps then would carry over to next year should we choose to apply for the grant next year.
I thought that grant had already been approved.
This
There-
is,
This is for a
This is
different
second.
one.
This is an add-on.
this is to add to it.
is
Add
an
more
add-on.
sidewalk.
Basically what happens is, you know, we did get the Safe Routes to School grant, and that's great. I mean, it was, you know, it's a really nice piece of infrastructure to get. The only thing is, at the end of the day, we end up with a sidewalk literally to nowhere. And what this would do is it would give us a connectivity to that sidewalk, so we'd have some useful sidewalk. It's something that I think that even if this grant opportunity didn't exist, we should look into what it would take to do, because it just makes good sense to do it. But this is an opportunity to maybe eliminate a sizable chunk of that cost burden, so.
Well, and didn't you say, John, that our 20% would be about 50 grand?
I remember off the top of my head, our initial, the 100% part from concept to construction would be around the $35,000 range. The additional costs, I'm thinking it was closer to 90.
Okay.
But just as an example, the grant application process is beginning, and I believe the due date for the grant is, say, the middle of October. They're just now awarding the 2016 grant winners that grant. So it would be next year's fiscal budget before any of this fundage would be involved.
So this year, if we do get the asphalt done, can we use the asphalt piece from the following budget for these sidewalks? Or are there anything more earth-shattering that we need to do besides Kingston Road?
No.
If that gets completed, can we use that?
Well, we always do have kind of a rotating amount of, you know, roads that we are repaving.
Right.
So, of course, we do see an increase. We should see an increase to that budget too, from the new tax, the new gas tax. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't know what's next on Clint's list after that.
I don't know what was next on his list either. It was just West Kingston Springs Road was the last
Yes.
I heard.
Yeah, that's the big project right now.
But these meetings do not give us any kind of, we're not on the hook for anything.
Yeah.
This is just a step to put us in the right direction to
I think the more
to
sidewalks,
do it,
the better as a community.
and the less we have to pay for them, the better too.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So is that a grant, the start of it, when they're gonna do a bicycle rack or something?
Would you say grounds?
Yeah.
Oh, part of that, yes, would be a
Yeah, part of
bike
it would
rack
be
and
bicycle
education
rack.
and
yeah.
all kinds of
At the
things.
school. There will also be, there's a new qualifier for that grant that if we don't do anything, the sidewalk ends where it ends now at Cedar Court, then they've determined that there needs to be a terminus at the end of the sidewalk, and in our particular case, it would most likely be a very large bench.
With an owl on the back.
Not the type that Lundy was talking about, but they can't just have a sidewalk stop, the sidewalk has to go someplace, since we don't have a bus
And
route.
you're talking about for our safe routes.
Right, for safe
Right,
routes,
so-
so, if we don't do anything, they're gonna stop it at a terminus, which would be a bus stop, a taxi stand, or a bench. Since we don't have the other two, then we can bench.
So,
So we have it should be in the Advocate this week, there's an advertised meeting for September 5th at 7 PM here in this office, this meeting hall. Just to get public input.
that's great. All right. Anything else?
I just wanted to let you all know that John passed his CMFO again. I think what have you got? 2 more to go?
2 more to go.
Super.
We'll get cupcakes when you pass.
We get cupcakes.
We probably tie it in the crops.
Yeah, we can just tie it together. That's right. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.